The name says it all. It's Hakeem coming at you.
Rob Jarrell.
And today we're going to talk about this Saturday's ESPN pay-per-view event between Terence Crawford defending his portion of the welterweight title against Amir Khan. Also on that card, who we have, Rob?
We have features with Teofimo Lopez, we have Felix Verdejo, and we have Shakur Stevenson taking his biggest step up today against the once-beaten Christopher Diaz.
Yeah, so it should be a pretty decent card, couple showcase fights, one step-up fight, and then the main event. So, for sake of time and, covering everything, We're just going to talk about the main event. So, we're going to go with Khan first, talk about Crawford, how they match up, what we expect to see, and then who we think is going to win. So, if you haven't done so yet, we think you're going to love what you see, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon, because we're also going to recap the fight afterwards with what actually happened versus what we thought happened, whether we're right or wrong. So, take it away, Rob.
Okay, so starting with Amir Khan, we know this is one of those guys who always put himself in that dare to be great situation.
Absolutely.
Remember, we saw him take up a huge step up in size and competition versus Saul Canelo Alvarez, in which he was promptly knocked out in the, fifth or sixth round?
Sixth.
In the sixth round. But, like Amir Khan, because of his natural athleticism, because of his natural talent and speed, he was able to make a good account of himself and take a lot of early rounds versus Canelo, because he does have that long reach, because he's not super tall, but he's kind of wiry, a little bit dense, but he takes chances.
Yeah.
He let his speed get the best of him and not his opponent a lot of the time. And granted, that speed looks good against a Zab Judah, a Devin Alexander, a
Paulie Malignaggi.
Paulie Malignaggi, those guys who are just a hair level below him or a step below him. But when he takes those huge jumps at competition, again, like Canelo Alvarez, having the fight with Marcus McDonald, which he did win.
Yeah.
But we know that change was after he knocked him down and came right back up. And against Lamont Peterson, Danny Garcia, guys who were as skilled, maybe not had the same physical gifts, but thought faster, stayed within themselves, and let the fight come to them.
Yeah.
This is one of those situations.
I do want to credit him as being the only guy to really drop Maidana, seriously. Victor Ortiz did it, in his first fight on HBO, but the way Amir Khan did, no one else at the top level did that. Mayweather never had him hurt.
Right.
Broner never had him hurt. He was hurt a few times versus Soto Carras, but never the way Amir Khan. Amir Khan put him down and down hard. Everyone was wondering how the hell Maidana got up from that body shot. So I want to give him props for that.
Oh yeah, but that just shows how much of a tough son of a bitch that Marcus Maidana is.
Yeah.
So
that's not get too far off top, because I start thinking about his comeback, and it's oh yeah, he trying to make a comeback. He's 200 pounds.
Right.
I wonder how that's gonna work out.
But moving on.
Yeah.
We know Amir Khan physically is there. To me and to Hakeem, we think he has that pure physical advantage. Being a bigger fighter, being highly athletic, very fast hands, and still has a pretty high pedigree. The difference is Amir Khan gets out of himself. He rushes in, throws those blistering combinations, but his feet are never really set under him the way it should be. And that can spell doom against a guy like Terence Crawford.
And also, his style, while he's refined it over the years, is still very amateurish. And the crazy thing about it is Amir Khan knows all these things.
Mm-hmm.
If you actually watch an interview with him, if you watch some of his training videos or some of the little pre-fight things, even before this fight, the criticisms that are against him, he knows, and he knows are there, and he's been working with Virgil Hunter to kind of scale those back, but he hasn't been able to do it completely. I mean, this is something he's been doing since he was a young child, and now he's an adult, 30-year-old man that is, those early teachings are really going to be ingrained in you. And so the problem comes is that he's been so ingrained in that amateur style of throwing blistering combinations all the time. He's now learning how to slow things down, set it up with his jab, and kind of take inventory, kind of, use that speed and that intelligence in a different way rather than just going out there guns blazing and just overwhelming your opponent with punches. So that's one of the things I'm looking for him to see the progression of in this fight. Can he actually just go in, boom, see what Terence Crawford does, throw a double jab? Because most of the time he just comes in, boom, 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 walks around the ring, boom, 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 walks around the ring, and someone like Danny Garcia times him and knocks him down and out. Lamont Peterson stepped to his face and didn't allow him the space to get that type of work done. Marcos Maidana, same thing. He just kept coming forward, crowding the space, and not allowing him to work those combos, even though Khan built up enough of the lead in the early part of that fight to where it didn't hurt him because he still come out with the victory. So I want to see in this fight him using that jab to maybe set some traps for Crawford where he can walk into a combination rather than him always being the one to initiate it. Where, Terence Crawford isn't a guy that's going to throw a 5-6 punch combination, but he will punch with you. But if you know and you can bait him into doing that and you're faster, then maybe you get him into that exchange, you throw your faster punches and then get out of there. Because while Amir Khan is the bigger guy, I don't know if he's going to be the harder puncher coming into this fight. That's one of the question marks.
And the good thing is he does have a guy in his corner like Virgil Hunter. You probably seen him on the screen behind us during the
this is final press conference.
Exactly.
Put something on. It's a big ass TV right here.
So he's a guy who is disciplined. He's smart. He's got good observation skills, and he develops that kind of trust in whoever is under his tutelage. Even the guy that's very shot-born like Alfredo Angulo had a lot of respect for Virgil Hunter. Unfortunately, Alfredo Angulo is closer to 40 than he is to 30, whereas Amir Khan still has time to take that time, make certain adjustments, and it's not going to take him out of his natural style, everything that's been ingrained, but at the very least he has a voice in his corner to say, hey, this is what I see, do you trust me? And if you see the same thing, let's execute.
Right. And it goes to show, because a lot of times, and we've even seen it with Khan, he'll lose a fight and immediately change his trainers. So he ended up losing the fight to Canelo. He didn't change from Virgil Hunter. He may have taken some time off, but when he came back against, was it Lo Greco he came back against?
Is he Lo Greco? I thought it was Alexander, but I might be wrong.
No, he fought Alexander a while ago.
Okay.
Either way, he still comes back to Virgil Hunter. And that says a lot. Like Rob said, fighters respect Virgil Hunter and his methods. So it's not like you don't see anybody out there trashing him in the media. You may see like other people on the internet try to trash him as far as, fighters getting wins outside of Andre Ward, which, like Rob said, sometimes you get like an older person like an Angulo where that's not, it's not going to be always possible. Uh-oh, emergency alert system.
Well, until that goes off, just think about Kid Chocolate, Peter Quillen. He's almost 40. He's older than the two of us. I just learned that and I forgot and I was surprised. But he's taking his time with Virgil Hunter. This was his third or fourth fight. He just fought against Caleb Truax. Unfortunately, that ended in a no contest. Or a cut or a stoppage. But it's a guy, they respect him. They respect what he does and what he brings to the table. Even a guy like Danny Jacobs, while he wasn't directly coached by Virgil Hunter, he was in his gym.
Yeah. And, that speaks volumes to the boxing acumen that he has.
And the environment that he's created.
Right. So, Terence Crawford, we know he was the undisputed junior welterweight champ, super lightweight, whatever you want to call that division. Either way, at 140 pounds, he was the man. So he decided to dare to be great, step up to 147. And a lot of people, are like 7 pounds. That's not a lot. 7 pounds is a whole hell of a lot.
Oh yeah.
Those of us that know weight and have experienced fighting guys bigger than us, or moving up and down, know why it's such a big feat to do that. Especially going into one of the glamour divisions that's on fire right now, with several people in that division that are available to fight with belts.
Whether they're champions, up and coming, or even guys that have just stuck around, like an Andre Berto or Devin Alexander or whoever.
Right.
They're there to fight.
Exactly. So he's got a lot of sharks in this water that he can take out, and Amir Khan is going to be the first marquee one, because he did take out Jeff Horn. And while that was impressive, and Jeff Horn's a big guy, he looks like he could probably be a 154 pounder easily. Anyway, with Khan, he's got somebody who's taller than him, probably the fastest person he's fought since Yuriorkis Gamboa.
Oh yeah.
And to have that type of combination presents a very challenging puzzle for Crawford. So with him, I'm expecting him to use either one or two blueprints or combine them. The two fighters I mentioned earlier, Danny Garcia and Lamont Peterson. Both of those guys were able to do two different things, but I expect Crawford to combine those things to start to amp up the performance as the rounds go on. He may have to take a few rounds to get inventory on his Khan's speed and his timing, but once he does get that down, I expect him to walk him down and punch in between those combinations, not give Khan the space to get that rest, so he's got to cut the ring off, and also catch him either before he throws the combination or immediately after. So with that, you'll see Crawford probably take a lot more punches, like we said, since Gamboa. He's gonna get hit. He's gonna get hit in this fight. I would be very surprised if he comes out and dominates from round one. I expect Amir Khan to take probably 3 out of the first 6 rounds before Crawford can really step it up. And it doesn't really matter what stance he's in, whether he's in the orthodox stance like I'm now or the southpaw stance. Either way, Khan has seen enough fighters. He has a very good resume. He's seen enough fighters to where he's not going to be intimidated no matter what stance he comes out of.
Now, with Terence Crawford, in my opinion, I think the blueprint-wise, I think the Garcia is probably the best one to go with, because we know that Garcia has a very educated left hook.
Yeah.
The thing about it is, Khan hasn't really seen a fighter quite like Crawford. Crawford has a very good left hook.
Yes.
Crawford also has a very good right hook from the southpaw stance.
Yes, that is true. Now, that's what I'm saying. Like, so he can set a trap to catch him with either one, but I think it's gonna take him a few rounds before he can really get that cranking.
Oh yeah, and kind of look out for Terence Crawford to turn on. He has this thing about him where, one, he knows how to stay out of trouble. Guys with speed, well, he was bigger than Gamboa, but guys with some decent speed, he knows how to control distance. Guys who are aggressive, he knows how to control the difference. Horn was aggressive. He learned how to control the difference. Postol was a guy who was taller. He's not really a come forward type guy.
Yeah, he was more of a boxer, puncher as well, and he did very well against him, shutting him down.
Right. And not only that, but he can also step in. Remember, he caught Postal coming in.
Yeah.
If you blink, you missed it at the beginning of I want to say about the 5th or 6th round with I want to say it was a left hook, and from that point on, it was kind of downhill for Postal. And with Khan, I think more so, instead of taking advantage of his normal physical gifts, he beats him with mental quickness, because, like you said, he takes inventory. He can punch with his opponent. He's someone who doesn't take his eyes off his opponent at all either. Even when he gets hit, he's always looking for his opponent. He's very often in a position to punch back, punch with, or step out of range and fire back.
Yeah. So with those attributes in mind is why I don't see anybody picking Amir Khan to win this fight. If you have seen someone who thinks Amir Khan is going to pull this off, or if you are somebody who thinks Amir Khan can pull this off, tell me how you do that, how you think he does that in the comment section. I want to know, because that'd be very interesting to hear about and read about. And if you got a link to somebody saying, hey, Amir Khan's going to win, this is how, this is the strategy he's going to use to do it, I want to see that too. So hit me up with that too. Well, hit us up with that. So what do you think, it goes the distance, or do you think Crawford can stop him? I'm gonna stop this back here.
Okay. Why y'all not watching Coach Herm?
Yeah. It's boxing, not football.
Let's be honest. Khan has this thing about a weak chin. That's not really that true. He got caught by Prescott, and I mean
he got steamrolled by Prescott. But then Danny Garcia set a trap on him. Maidana hurt him badly,
but he didn't stop him.
Right. He's been hurt. He recuperates well if you can't finish him.
Right.
And then
and of course Canelo being
two weight class. Like we said earlier, weight classes matter. And him and Kell Brook found out the hard way that moving up weight classes is not a simple feat. Right. And it was only 13 pounds. People are like, what's the 13 pounds?
Remember,
they found out the hard way, 13 pounds is no joke.
You have to remember, that's 13 pounds the night before.
Right.
That doesn't include hydration, and we know Canelo's one of those guys that hydrates.
Yeah, he's probably a good 170, maybe more.
And that was coming in at 155 or 154.
Yeah.
On at weigh-in. So keep that in mind. I want to give Khan the benefit of the doubt and say that it goes to decision for Terence Crawford. I think he has enough speed and eye-popping punches to make it competitive if it goes to the cards to make it close. But I also know that Terence Crawford knows how to finish a fight. Sometimes,
so if he catches him, it's over.
Yeah, we saw what he did to Horn. We saw what he did to
Benavidez.
Yeah, Benavidez and
Gamboa.
And at that point, if he puts him in that position where he has to, where they're in survival mode, then it's a decision. Because we know guys trying to survive don't really fight back. They move forward and they're much less willing to engage. The thing about it is, Khan's not unwilling to engage. So
yeah, he never goes into survival mode.
So
which is sometimes his issue.
Exactly, which is why I'm looking at a knockout in the late rounds, maybe around 9 or 10. Like I said, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt and go to decision, but because he doesn't go into survival mode and he wants his get back, I'm looking forward to go about 9 or 10.
Okay. I think it may go a little bit longer than that, maybe like 11, maybe another 12 round stoppage for Crawford. But I'm expecting it to go to the cards because I'm not sure if Crawford is going to have that welterweight stopping power. Like, even though Horn was a big guy, weight-wise, physically he wasn't a big guy. So he was a really good target for Crawford to tee off on. Same thing with Benavidez. He was a taller guy, but he wasn't as mobile. Now we got a tall, fast, mobile guy in Khan, who, if Crawford can't catch him in those exchanges like we were talking about, he probably would just end up outpointing him. But I think he can. I think, to be mentally sharp that long is very hard. So I think at the time Khan lapses, Crawford can catch him, and like we said, he's an excellent finisher. So I'm thinking, like I said, 10, 11, 12, in the last third of the fight, he gets it done.
And look out for possibly even if it's not a blistering knockout, look out for the ref to step in and stop it on their own. But if he does get to the point where he might want the knockout to make a statement in his division. Again, he beat Horn, who's got to beat Pacquiao.
Right.
He beat Benavidez, that was more bad blood than anything else. But Benavidez he moved up from 140 as well, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think he was a career welterweight.
No,
I could be wrong.
He had the injury.
Right.
Yeah, and he did move up because he fought, what's my man? Not Danny Garcia. Herrera. He fought
Okay.
Herrera, and that was at the lower weight classes, and then a lot of people thought Herrera won.
Right.
And then all the stuff outside the ring happened with him.
So we know there's a point of order that he might want the knockout and send a message to Errol Spence or Keith Thurman or Pacquiao or even what's my man Kell Brook. It doesn't matter. Whoever those top names are at welterweight that either hold the belt, have held the belt, or Sean Porter, those kind of guys.
We could list off a whole lot of names in the 147 division.
So
let us know what you guys think. Like I said, hit us up in the comment section below. Make sure you like this video. Hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Capital Combat. We are very heavy on there, even if we're not cranking out a lot of videos.
And yeah, this is our first video that we've done together in a long time, so we apologize about that. Yeah. But hit us up, share with your friends, share on Facebook, Twitter, whoever you want to. Engage with us, because we are definitely open to engage with you all.
Yes. So until the next video, because we got a UFC recap, and also we got the Danny Garcia fight that you're gonna do later on as well. So catch those videos, like we said, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and until then, fight on.
This is round one, and you've already lost. They don't seem to see that everything we've done is coming and cost. My fists are on fire, I perform till I perspire. My demons are in a rage, keep thinking that it's a game. I kick rhyme, hurricane. I told them I don't play, I'm liquid.
The Black Street Fighter.